Before we can start multiplying decimals, we first have to practice how to estimate decimal products. This example asks us to estimate 12 and 2/10 times 1 and 9/10. When you have any number in the whole spot, I want you to circle the first number. And then you're going to look to the neighbor on the right to see if it's 4 or less or 5 or more. And so next to the 1 I have a 2, so that's 4 or less. So I'm going to let the 1, whatever is in the circle, let it rest. So it's going to keep as 1, and then everything behind it changes to 0. So I'm going to write down 10, and we're going to do the same thing for the 1 and 9/10. So I have a number in the whole spot, so I'm going to circle it. Look to the neighbor, it's a 9 this time, so that's 5 or more, so that means to raise the score. So whatever's in the circle, it's not going to stay the same as 1, it's now going to go up to 2. This is my number sentence, it has to end with an answer, so 10 times 2 equals 20. Now here's my estimate for that problem, and I'm going to use that estimate to answer or place the decimal in the answer. So if I put it behind the 2, that would be 2 and 318 thousandths. If I put it behind the 3, that's 23.18. Behind the 1, that's 231. You can see how this goes. So which is closer to 20? Well, if I put it close or right behind the 3, that makes it 23, and that's a lot closer than 2 or 231. So the decimal is going to go right here. This second example doesn't have any number in the whole spot. It's 0 and 28/100ths. So if you rounded this to the nearest whole, it would just be 0. And that's not helpful at all, because then we would just do 0 times 43, which equals 0, and that gets us nowhere. So if it's a decimal that's under 1/2, I want you to just round it to 1/2. Don't use the whole place. Okay, so that's going to round to 1/2. And then I'm going to multiply, and we have to figure out what 43 rounds to. So I'm going to circle the first number in my whole spot, look to my neighbor, and 3 is 4 or less, so I'm going to leave whatever's in the circle and let it rest. So that rounds to just 40. Now we worked a lot in the last chapter with multiplying fractions. So I'm going to do this quickly. Put the 1 under it. 1 times 40 is 40. And the denominator is 2 times 1, which is 2. And that's an improper fraction, so we're going to write or. This can also be 20. Now I'm going to use my estimate to put the decimal place in the answer. 20 is closer to 13. So my decimal goes right behind the 3.